11 News starts with breaking news.
Closing arguments are underway in Derek Chauvin's murder trial. Those are airing on Channel 11, so we are live on streaming, and this is a live look inside the Minneapolis courtroom. The prosecution started its closing about an hour and a half ago, telling the jury the former officer had to know that he was squeezing the life out of George Floyd. We are closely monitoring the courtroom, and we'll have much more in a few minutes. But first, a blast of winter weather is coming up this week, and you wouldn't know it by today's forecast. Meteorologist Danielle Dozier is tracking when that snow is going to be moving in. Danielle?
Yeah, Gordon, it's a beautiful day out there right now. We've got fair weather cumulus clouds over Pittsburgh. We've also had some high clouds. The temperatures, they're in the upper 50s to near 60 and on their way up to the low to middle 60s this afternoon. But we do have some rain and some snow that's on the way. Let's focus a little more on that snow. And we do see snow in April. The average snowfall for the entire month is 1.5 inches. But right now, it does look like our next weather system is going to usher in a pretty strong cold front as we head into early Wednesday morning. And as the air turns colder, all of these showers that are out there early in the morning will begin to switch over to snow showers. And there may be a brief mix of sleet in between as well with that purple shaded color. So here's 10 a.m. and then as the day wears on, snow will begin to fall across the entire area once we get that really cold air in here. We'll talk more about the rest of the timing of your Wednesday forecast and if I think we're going to see any snow accumulation coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Danielle. We have breaking details on a deadly shooting at a party in Pittsburgh. 3 people were shot. Police say they found 19-year-old Paul Hines dead at a house on Moore Avenue last night. Another man was shot in the back and was listed in critical condition. A third victim showed up at the hospital with gunshot wounds. We saw a lot of evidence markers on the front porch of the home. Police say ShotSpotter went off for 19 shots. So far, police have not arrested anyone. Another man was hurt during a shooting at a bar in the East Hills just after midnight. Police tell us a man was shot in the doorway of Lady Di's bar on Frankstown Avenue. The victim was taken to the hospital in stable condition. No arrests have been made there. Mount Lebanon woman is facing some disturbing allegations. Police say she neglected her elderly mother. Amy Maldonado was arrested Friday after police were called to do a welfare check on her mother. Police paperwork shows they found her mother lying on the floor and not moving. As one officer entered the home to check on her, they say Maldonado punched a second officer. The mother was rushed to the hospital, and we're working to find out how she's doing.
George Floyd's final words on May 25, 2020 were, "Please, I can't breathe."
Closing arguments in the Derek Chauvin murder trial with the prosecution up first, and for the defense, it's one last chance to convince the jury it was not the former Minneapolis police officer's knee across his neck that led to George Floyd's death. This is a live look at the courtroom there where they're showing evidence and information in the closing arguments. This is the prosecutor talking with the jury since 10:30 this morning. After the defense's closing arguments, the jury is expected to begin deliberations later this afternoon. Chauvin faces manslaughter and murder charges. NBC's Jay Gray has been following the high-profile case and joins us with a closer look at the trial.
For 14 days, the jury heard from police officers, doctors, experts, and those that were there.
If you need a moment, I can take a minute.
From George Floyd's family, but not
I will invoke my Fifth Amendment privilege today.
Derek Chauvin. They've seen charts, graphs, maps, animation, and video, and now today, all of that evidence and testimony comes down to the last word from prosecutors.
The case has gone in as well as I could imagine for the state.
And the defense.
All he has to do is convince one juror, right? To have one juror doubt the prosecution's case, and we have a hung jury.
After closing statements and instructions from Judge Peter Cahill.
It's up to the jury how long you deliberate, how long you need to come to a unanimous decision on any count.
The jury will be sequestered in a city that is, in essence, sequestered as well. Businesses locked down, boarded up, security stepped up. So many here, including those closest to the case.
I'm very anxious and a lot of drilling in the Russian, wondering what's going to happen, what's going to be the outcome.
On edge for what comes next. Jay Gray, NBC News, Minneapolis.
Security is at an all-time high in Minneapolis with more than 3,000 National Guard soldiers, along with police and federal agents on the ground here. And cities across the country, including Pittsburgh, are on alert, ready for protests when the verdict is read. We're following a major developing story. Take a look at this photo. They look like real guns, but those are BB guns. Police in Beaver County say they found kids as young as 10 playing with them. Channel 11's Alyssa Raymond spoke with police worried someone will mistake the guns for the real thing.
Police departments in our area are keeping an eye out for kids with BB guns. Last week, we spoke with the city of Washington about the problem. This week, Aliquippa put out this warning.
There's going to be a tragedy if parents and the community don't get involved.
Last night, someone called the Aliquippa Police Department to report seeing a kid walking down the sidewalk with a gun. Officer Fran Conkle went to check it out, and he confiscated these BB guns from 4 kids between the ages of 10 and 15. Afterwards, the city of Aliquippa posted this video on its Facebook page to get the word out about this and how it needs to stop before something tragic happens.
As a police officer, the last thing in the world I want to do is take the life of a child and then find out it's from them carrying a BB gun.
You know, in this heightened community, in this heightened time, that, hey, somebody could lose their life based on something so fake and something that you think is harmless. Just be respectful of the time that we're living in, and just make sure we you know, my dad say, you know, look out for your little ones, look out for your babies, make sure they're okay.
Aliquippa police want parents to stop buying these BB guns for their kids. They also want to put a stop to younger adults buying these things for younger teenagers. Reporting in Aliquippa, Alyssa Raymond, Channel 11 News.
All Americans 16 and older are now eligible for the COVID-19 vaccine. President Joe Biden said today is the deadline for states to open the vaccine rollout to everyone. Pennsylvania opened eligibility ahead of schedule last week. Half of adults in the U.S. now have at least 1 dose of a vaccine, but there is fear the vaccines will stall because of the investigation into the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. U.S. officials hope to decide how to proceed with that vaccine this week. They could restart distribution with new restrictions and broader warnings after reports of some very rare blood clot cases. Use of the J&J was paused after clots were found in 6 women out of 7 million doses. 1 of the women died, but so far there has been no evidence that the clots were caused by the vaccine. More breaking news now. The Supreme Court has tossed a Pennsylvania voting rights case related to last year's election. Several Republicans were looking to change election rules. The justices ordered the lower courts to dismiss the case as moot. The justices have already denied petitions from then-President Donald Trump and other Republicans seeking to overturn election results in multiple states. Biden won. Man accused of going on a vandalism spree in Lawrenceville has been arrested. Police say he went on a slashing spree, damaging tires, I should say, on 24 cars. Channel 11's Mike Holden spoke with neighbors and has more on the man taken into custody.
Folks who live right here in this Lawrenceville community say this guy's actions made absolutely 0 sense, slashing tire after tire, in some instances on the same car. This afternoon, they say he hopes he pays for the damage and serves quite a bit of time behind bars. Sean McFarland is locked up in the Allegheny County Jail this afternoon. Police say the guy went on a tire slashing spree over the weekend, causing thousands of dollars in damage. Once police caught up to him, they say he threw stuff from his pockets, refused officers' commands, and kept trying to run away. Channel 11 captured some of the aftermath. Flattened tires just like this resting on the curb. Other folks replacing the damaged ones with a temporary donut. Neighbors say it all happened late Friday evening. Police allege McFarland went up and down Main Street, slashing one tire after the next, all on the same side of the road, at least 25 cars. Police say he was eventually caught in the act, but that even as he was being handcuffed, he ran away and tried to hide in a yard. Police noticed cuts on his hands and determined that he had an active warrant out from U.S. Marshals.
I think that's ridiculous. What's wrong with him? He belongs in jail. That's the trouble. They don't give people enough time for what they do, and they let everybody just go. And if you let him go, he's going to do it again.
And McFarland remains locked up in the Allegheny County Jail, unable to post bond. He has a court date in the near future. In the meantime, I'm now talking with folks who live right here on this street who narrowly avoided this incident. Their message to McFarland for Channel 11 News starting at 5 o'clock tonight. Reporting in Lawrenceville, Mike Holden, Channel 11 News.
A Lawrence County man was rushed to the hospital after a lawn mowing accident. The NBC station in Youngstown learned the 74-year-old man fell off a riding mower at a home near Elwood City yesterday and was run over by the mower. A neighbor heard him crying and ran to help. He was flown to a hospital in critical condition. A close call in Shaler Township where a cigarette started a fire. This happened yesterday at a home on Homer Place. Investigators say a woman was outside smoking and thought she put the cigarette out, but a short time later, a neighbor called her to tell her the porch was on fire. Flames also spread to the attic. Fortunately, no one was hurt. Meanwhile, a fast-moving fire damaged a house in Avalon. This fire broke out late Sunday afternoon at a home on Fisk Avenue. We saw a lot of damage to the back of the house there. No one was hurt, and still no word yet on what started that fire. This is a look at history in the making. NASA's mini helicopter taking its first flight above the red planet.
This is an automated call.
And why security experts say you need to be careful if you get that phone call. Everything seems to be right in this video until we zoom in the message this local school board member is trying to send by wearing a bag over her head.
It's a grown woman acting like a child. It's disgusting.
That woman she's talking about is on the Southmoreland School Board, and you can see her in this video with a bag over her head during a board meeting. The woman says she's taking a stand against having to wear a mask. But as Channel 11's Michelle Newell explains, parents think it sends a very different message.
A number of parents I spoke with told me this isn't the first time they've had concerns about the school board member who did this.
It's a grown woman acting like a child. It's disgusting. My kids behave better than that.
Just kind of embarrassment to think that this is how my kids' school district is being represented.
Shock would be an understatement to describe how parents feel about what they saw at the Southmoreland School Board meeting Thursday night.
She just kept saying that she was complying with my rule. She referred to it as covering her head mouth and nose, which is not the policy. You've read the policy. The policy states that you cover your mouth and your nose.
That's the conversation school board president Michelle Williams says she had with Dr. Catherine Fike before the meeting even began. But Dr. Fike chose to wear a brown paper bag over her head the entire time.
My 2-year-old can wear a mask. I don't understand why a grown woman who is a leader in the community shouldn't be able to wear a mask.
In March, Williams says Dr. Fike showed up to 2 school board meetings without a mask. Those actions led to an updated mask policy that was recently approved. Security won't allow anyone to enter school buildings without a mask. Williams says Dr. Fike told her a medical condition prevents her from wearing one. The district says several options were offered to Dr. Fike to safely participate in meetings, including setting her up in a room with a laptop.
Provided her with a face shield that she could have worn. We had face shields there last night that she could have worn. When you claim that you can't wear a mask because of medical issues, I certainly wouldn't expect you to then put a brown paper bag over your head. I don't think it sends a good message to our students who see this as well.
We tried to contact Dr. Fike. Once we got through to her, she declined to comment.
We've decided that we're pulling our kids from the district as of next year, and it's a shame because our teachers are amazing and have done so much through this pandemic for the kids.
Williams says there's nothing the board can do if Dr. Fike continues to come to meetings this way because she is an elected official.
I think that we have a good school district, and I think we have a lot of people working hard to make it better. It's sad to me that this is what we're in the news for right now.
Michelle Newell, Channel 11 News.
South Park police are looking for the people who trashed a park. The vandalism happened at Evans Park Saturday night. The township supervisor tells us this is the concession stand area for the South Park Baseball Association, and the group just finished renovations. You're asked to call township police if you have any information. 2 lawsuits have been filed against United Airlines after one of its jets lost an engine over Colorado. The civil suits allege 2 of the passengers suffered significant trauma and distress when the engine fell from the plane in February. The attorney for the 2 passengers is asking for at least $50,000 in damages. United Airlines has declined to comment. Some airlines plan to have all of their planes back in the air by the end of the month after sitting idle for months. But how can we be sure all of those planes are maintained and ready to fly? The FAA says planes sitting idle could cause a critical valve to fail, risking dual engine failure in flight. An attorney and former U.S. Air Force navigator says this could be an issue to watch.
What people should be more concerned about or extra cautious about is a lot of people when they travel do like sightseeing flights or charter flights with smaller outfits or helicopters. Those are the outfits that really need extra scrutiny.
Industry experts say flights are 75% full, up from 60% just last month. And now to an out-of-this-world flight. NASA's experimental Mars helicopter Ingenuity has achieved the first powered, controlled flight on another planet. Just before 7 this morning, a photograph popped up on a screen at Mission Control in Cape Canaveral, Florida. It showed the shadow of the 4-pound solar-powered machine. It hovered about 10 feet in the air for about 40 seconds and then touched back down. Ingenuity is expected to have some longer flights in the weeks ahead.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
Such a cool historic event. I wish I was up to see it this morning. Gordon, I know you were. Visible satellite right now shows a little bit of cloud cover that we've had developing across the area this afternoon after some river valley fog. You may have noticed that right along our rivers this morning. But those little white speckles that you're seeing here on the loop, those are those cumulus clouds that are developing this afternoon. We're going to have a mix of sun and clouds. I think the clouds might be thicker a little bit later on today. 24-hour temperature change shows we're running about 5 degrees warmer in Pittsburgh than this time yesterday, 7 degrees warmer up in Butler. This afternoon, temperatures are going to be climbing into the lower 60s as we increase a little bit of that cloud cover. But overall, really nice afternoon. If you want to go out for a little bike ride tonight, temperatures will be falling down into the lower 40s. It'll be mostly cloudy, and we'll have a west-northwest wind right around 5 to 10 miles per hour. That's not bad. We do have a chance for some rain north of the city of Pittsburgh overnight tonight and into tomorrow morning. Wanted to time that out for you here on our high-resolution storm tracker maps. 3 o'clock this afternoon, you can see that cloud cover that's thickening up in spots here tonight, and mostly cloudy overnight tonight, as I mentioned. Here's a little bit of that wet weather, especially along and north of I-80. 4 o'clock in the morning. This is just one computer weather model, but there are a few others that are also showing a couple of these showers here through northern Butler County, Lawrence County, Clarion, Venango counties into tomorrow morning. And the rest of us right now look dry for the day on Tuesday. Then, of course, things are going to be changing as we head into Wednesday, as we've talked about a little bit earlier today. You can see our temperature forecast here for tomorrow, mid 50s and then upper 50s to near 60 degrees tomorrow. So another pleasant day overall, a little more cloud covered though. Then we have to track snow and rain moving in on Wednesday. And it's not just snow for us. Places like Ohio, back into Indiana, Kansas City, Missouri, by the way, getting several inches of snow out of this system. So it's a wide-reaching weather system that's going to be drawing in a cold front coming in from the west and north as we head into early Wednesday. And then as the air turns colder, all those showers that are around in the morning will begin to mix with a little sleet and then eventually change over to snow. But at this point, it really doesn't look like a whole lot of snow for us, and the ground temperatures are going to be very warm after these days in the 60s. So at this point, it looks like in general, most areas will see less than an inch of snow, and it would be mainly on grassy or elevated surfaces, unless you're going up here along Erie, along the lake up into northeast Ohio, where the data has been showing a little more than an inch of snow up in that area. But we'll keep you posted on the timing as well as how much as we get a little bit closer. We're still several days out, and coming up in the next half hour, I'm going to walk you through some of the April snows we have seen lately, because we do get snow in April, so it's not completely uncommon across the area. 5-day forecast today, about 64, mostly sunny, 60 on Tuesday, partly sunny to mostly cloudy, 42 in Fallings. That's going to be a falling temperature for us. The air is going to turn pretty cold, and it's going to be gusty as well. Pretty windy day for us. Thursday, 47 after a low of 28 in the morning, and then Friday is 59, mostly sunny as we head into the weekend. I think Friday looks good. I think the first part of Saturday, most of Saturday actually looking good. Some showers moving in toward the evening hours with 61, and then showery skies for another weather system coming in on Sunday.
All right, thanks, Danielle. A woman attacked in her driveway by a wild cat. You can hear it there. Why an animal that's usually something that stays away from people attacked? And for a lot of us, it's hard to imagine growing up in a neighborhood without playgrounds. One woman's mission to make sure all communities have a safe place for kids to play. Kids running in a playground with friends. It's the sounds of childhood, but not all communities have safe places for their kids to play because of social and racial inequities. NBC's Dan Sheneman introduces us to a nonprofit whose mission is to provide play spaces for everyone.
A childhood rite of passage, monkey bars, swings, and climbing to a heart's content. But not every child has a place to play.
There's a lot of our schools in this country that do not have playgrounds.
Lisa Ratliff is the CEO of the national nonprofit Kaboom, whose mission is to create safe play spaces.
You know, we learn through play. We learn on the playground to take risks, to foster friendships, to fall down, to get back up.
Over the last 25 years, Kaboom, along with 11 million volunteers, have designed and built over 17,000 play spaces that range from traditional playgrounds to adventure courses.
We work mostly where the need is greatest, which is predominantly in Black, Brown, Indigenous communities.
Kaboom works directly with the kids and community leaders to ensure the space they are creating is what they actually need.
Communities know their place better than anybody else.
Ratliff says the pandemic has increased the need for these types of spaces.
Their childhood has been disrupted. They've been at home. They haven't been at school. They haven't been going to the playground.
The nonprofit believes it only takes a single spark to encourage a child, and they want to be that spark.
What we do over the next 5 years, we've got to be able to do what we did over the past 25 years to affect this generation of kids.
A generation of kids who can learn and thrive while enjoying a ritual of childhood. Dan Sheneman, NBC News.
This is an automated call.
Why security experts say you need to be careful if you get that phone call. Plus, the fight to save a restaurant from getting pushed out of a local airport. Sunshine and milder temperatures today, but a big change is on the way later this week. Meteorologist Danielle Dozier taking a look at that, and it's pretty drastic, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a pretty big change in the forecast, and I was just putting together those maps. The tower cam does show beautiful conditions out there right now, but we do have some rain and some snow on the way. Enjoy the temperatures this afternoon in the upper 50s to low to mid 60s because, yeah, those things are changing. We've got temperatures that are going to be falling from the lower 40s early and continuing to drop throughout the day as a strong cold front moves in. Rain that's going to be out there early will be changing over to snow, and in the process we could have a little bit of a mixed precipitation, some sleet involved there, but by the afternoon it should be straight snow showers for us moving in from the west. And as I mentioned earlier, I am expecting minimal snow accumulation at this point because the ground temperature is very warm. So if you're just joining us, I'll show you that forecast, plus we'll take a look at some of the April snows that we've had over the last few years coming up. Gordon.
All right, thanks, Danielle. A crash shut down the Homestead Grace Bridge. It happened just after midnight on the city side of the bridge. A photographer saw 3 cars being towed. We're told 2 people were taken to the hospital to get checked out. It's been 3 years since a Westmoreland County woman disappeared. The district attorney says his office certainly has not forgotten about Cassandra Gross. She was last seen meeting a friend for lunch in April of 2018. Gross's family continues to draw attention to the case, holding rallies and searches of their own. And today, they plan to hold another rally outside the Westmoreland County Courthouse. They were also there yesterday. The family says it's important to keep her name out there. If you know anything about the case, you're asked to call state police. Today, Highlands School Board is expected to vote on hiring a new company to provide unarmed security for the district. According to the Trib, the district will vote on hiring a new security company. According to the new 3-year deal, 2 security guards will be assigned to Highlands High School, 2 at the middle school and 1 at the elementary school. The new school resource officer in the Burrell School District says he's received close to 70 tips this school year through the Safe to Save program. He told the Trib 25% were drug-related, 12% involved depression or anxiety, and 9% dealt with suicidal thoughts. He says having the program gives students an opportunity to share information they may otherwise be unable or unwilling to share. Students at Pine Richland will hold another rally tonight in support of their former football coach. Head coach Eric Kasparovich and the rest of the staff were fired last week after allegations of hazing and bullying in the locker room. But there's been no evidence released about that happening. Coach K reapplied for his job on Friday, and the athletic director at Gateway High School told Channel 11 that he emailed every single head football coach in Pennsylvania and asked them not to apply for the opening at Pine Richland. Students also started a petition for all of the coaches to get their jobs back. There was outrage on social media over a proposed plan to bring a new restaurant to Arnold Palmer Regional Airport. County commissioners want the airport authority to seek bids on a new lease once the current agreement with D'Annunzio's Italian Shop House expires. Customers, though, were not happy. They flocked to Facebook to praise the restaurant and slam the proposal. D'Annunzio signed a new lease in March. Commissioners told the Trib D'Annunzio just isn't paying enough to rent the space. Pennsylvania casinos brought in more than $400 million last month, a record haul. And all of our local casinos have rebounded in a big way since March of last year when the pandemic hit. State data shows the Rivers Casino made more than $29 million in March. That's a 91% increase from the previous year. Meadows Casino drew in almost $21 million, a 110% increase. And Lady Luck Casino at Nemacolin had a total revenue of $2 million last month, a 35% increase from March of last year. Crooks are getting away with millions, and it starts with a phone call or voicemail saying you are behind on your utility bill and demanding that you pay up or face the consequences. Reporter Scott Cohn shows us what to look out for.
This is an automated call.
The voicemail is ominous.
Please enter your password.
The caller ID says it's from the electric company.
Your account reflects a disconnection order taking place today due to non-payment history.
You could swear you paid your bill, but when you speak to a live representative, he demands that you pay up in the next 30 minutes.
You're telling me I have 30 minutes to come up with this $300, or you're going to turn it off, and then tomorrow I have to pay all of these connection fees.
These recordings are examples of a nationwide scam. The voicemail left with a customer in New Jersey who happened to be a utility worker. The phone conversation, recorded in California and provided to CNBC by an industry group, Utilities United Against Scams, which says the person on the line is not from the power company. He just wants your money.
Minimum payment of $300 to avoid the disconnection of service.
Think you could never fall for something like this? Try telling that to Doreen Olias of California, who works in accounting.
If it happened to me, somebody who should know better, it's going to happen to anybody.
She's out close to $500.
People work hard for that money.
She says the person on the line told her to go to a convenience store and buy a prepaid debit card.
He sounded like, I want to help you. Y'all stay on the phone.
Convinced he was legit, she followed his instructions.
He told me to read off the card number to him, which I did.
Giving the crook all he needed to cash in. When she got home, something told her to call the number back.
And it was disconnected, and my heart just dropped at the time.
Still think you could never be fooled? The Federal Trade Commission says imposter scams like these were the top fraud last year, $1.2 billion.
Please contact us to avoid the disconnection.
It's easy for crooks to fake a utility company caller ID. They can get your account information from a bill you threw in the trash, or just trick you into thinking they have it.
These scammers can often be extremely sophisticated. They're basically using social engineering to kind of tap into our senses and sort of lure us into believing that they're real.
You're the only one, all right?
In that recorded conversation you heard earlier, the customer got the real utility on another line, and a representative coached her on what to do.
This is a fraudster. So, yeah, it's a fraud call. Go ahead and try to get a phone number he could be reached at.
Your best defense, if you get one of these calls, is just to hang up. Better yet, don't pick up the call in the first place, even though it says it's the electric company. Your utility will never send a single notification that they're going to disconnect you in an hour. Discarded face masks are starting to pile up. The problem that's creating some fear that it's only going to get worse. And a woman attacked in her driveway. Why an animal that usually stays away from people attacked. Peloton is challenging a government warning that its treadmill poses serious risks to children. The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission issued the warning after several reports of children getting trapped, pinned, and pulled under the treadmill. One child died. Peloton said in a statement that it's shocked and devastated by the death of the child, but it also called the report inaccurate and misleading. A couple's scary confrontation with a bobcat in North Carolina was caught on surveillance video.
I knew it was a cat because I know what a cat sounds like, but it sounded like a very angry cat.
Yeah, she was right. The face of this bobcat came around the corner as she was walking out to her car. She says she tried to run between the cars. Her husband ran to her, and the bobcat clamped down on his wife.
I remember seeing this face, and it was trying to bite her right there in the side of the neck. And so I shoved my arm in, and that's how I ended up with it like this. I'm holding this thing up. And at that point, I say, oh, my God, it's a bobcat. I really didn't know what it was.
You could see the way he just threw it away there. He got the bobcat off his wife, tossed it into the yard. Bobcats don't normally attack humans. They are timid and solitary. Well, it turns out that bobcat had rabies, which is why it got so aggressive.
I remember seeing that video, Gordon, and not understanding what was happening. I had to watch it a couple of times. Here's a look at our radar right now. Light rain that's moving through our far northeastern counties, but the rest of us are quiet. We do have some rain, some snow on the way, so I'll time that out for you. Plus, we'll take a look at just what you can expect later on this afternoon as well.
Millions of people lost their jobs over the past year. Now that jobs are opening up, some don't want to work. Why business owners say people are not applying for open positions. Help wanted signs are showing up everywhere, and a new report found businesses are having a hard time filling jobs because people aren't applying. Small businesses are being hurt the most. A new report from NBC found 42% of owners say they could not fill positions last month. They blame extended pandemic unemployment benefits.
That's a challenge because most people are receiving the benefits that they need to survive, and part-time employment is not going to pay the bills.
We can only go to a certain point,
and you know, without raising prices.
Millions of Americans are receiving around $600 a week. That translates to about $15 an hour.
It is a very unusual situation. This has really put job seekers in the driver's seat to a large degree.
19 states reinstated a requirement to look for work while on unemployment. Last week, we told you Pennsylvania has plans to do the same. Those extended unemployment benefits run out in September unless it is extended. You probably have more than one forgotten mask in your jacket pocket, in your car, or in your junk drawer. But what happens when the pandemic is over and all those masks get thrown away? That's the question medical and environmental experts are asking themselves. The Ocean Conservancy collected more than 100,000 pieces of PPE during the second half of 2020 alone. And that's just a tiny tip of a mountain of pandemic plastic waste.
Manufacturers went into overdrive to produce billions of pieces of PPE, things like gloves, things like garments, things like masks, beard nets, hair covers, shoe covers. Personal protective equipment has always been around, but due to COVID, it's now a monster waste stream.
As masks fill landfills even faster, the flow of plastics into oceans is expected to triple by 2040.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
We have sunny clouds out there right now. Temperatures in the upper 50s and climbing into the lower 60s later today. If you wanted to get out in the yard, I saw some beautiful hanging baskets when I was going to the store over the weekend. So I know it's a really nice time of year to go ahead and get some of those plants in the ground, as long as, of course, they can withstand some of the colder weather. We do expect temperatures to drop below freezing a little bit as we head into the week, so you're going to want to wrap up those plants as the temperatures do fall below freezing. Of course, we'll keep you updated on when they do, but this afternoon, low 60s looks pretty nice for us, and this evening the weather looks quiet. If you wanted to grill out, we have temperatures that are going to be down in the lower 60s through 6, 7, and 8 o'clock, and we'll have that mix of sun and clouds out there. Overnight tonight, it's mostly cloudy, though. We have a cold front that's going to be coming in, so you're going to want to make sure that you know that we have some rain that could be coming in north of the city of Pittsburgh overnight, and the temperatures will be falling down into the lower 40s, with about 44 here in the city, 41 in Washington, 45 in the Uniontown area. And tomorrow, we're looking at temperatures up to near 60 in the afternoon, but I think we're going to have more cloud cover tomorrow than what we have out there today. And then, as I mentioned, we do have that cold front coming in, so that should spark some spotty showers at least up to the north. So places like Butler could see some rain into tomorrow morning. By the afternoon, though, we're in the upper 50s up there and in Beaver, about 60 in Pittsburgh, mid 60s down south. Morgantown looks to check in right around 67 degrees. Now, we've been talking a lot about that rain and that snow that's slated for the middle part of the week, Wednesday. So I wanted to update you on some of those April snowfalls. The average for the entire month of April is 1.5 inches. So while we do have snow in the forecast, it's not uncommon. We do see snow for the month of April. We have already seen almost an inch, 0.8 inches so far in the city of Pittsburgh. And here's a look at some of our recent snowfalls here in the month of April. So the 0.8 here for 2021, just last year picking up 1/10 of an inch. 2018, we had 7.3 inches of snow in the month of April. 2016, a little more than 3 inches. In 2015, looks like 3/10 inches of snowfall. Right now, it looks like the majority of the area will see less than an inch of snow, mainly on grassy or elevated surfaces. Higher amounts would be up along Lake Erie, northern and western Pennsylvania. 5-day forecast, 64 today, about 60 tomorrow. Again, some showers north of the city into the morning hours on Tuesday. 42 looks to be a falling temperature. So when we head out early on Wednesday, it looks like that would be the temperature, and then it will continue to fall throughout the day. Winds will be sustained between about 10 and 20 with higher gusts. So it's going to be a pretty windy day as well. And just a day that you really don't want to be outside unless you have to be. It's not going to feel like April by any means. By Thursday, there's that 28 degrees. So I was talking about those plants. This is going to be the day for sure. And then into Friday morning where you might want to wrap up those sensitive plants and flowers. 47 Thursday, near 60 Friday looks good there. Saturday looks good, but some rain moves in by the evening, and we'll carry that rain chance actually into Sunday. It looks the more favorable day for some widespread wet weather.
All right, thanks, Danielle. Pittsburgh's red bud trees are in full bloom. The trees are along the North Shore and other locations. This is video of those trees when they were planted in 2016. The Western PA Conservancy planted more than 3,000 of the trees for the Pittsburgh Red Bud Project. If you want to check them out, the blooms are expected to last through the end of the week.
Hey, Lisa
Lisa Robertson here, and I want to talk to you about something that I found to be really, really shocking. I was reading a statistic recently that 1 in 5 women are assaulted, and I was incredulous. I couldn't believe it, and it really scared me for a second. And I thought about my niece. She's going off to college. Oh, she's my heart. I think my 15-year-old niece, she, I can't imagine something happening to someone that I love. And I love this idea because it's something that I can give to them and something I can carry to really give me peace of mind and give all of us more safety. It's the Birdie personal safety alarm. And this is something you can keep on your keychain. So it comes in 5 colors, although I know the colors aren't the point. It comes on a great little brass keychain. You put it on your keychain, you carry it with you. And now if your daughter or your niece is going off to college, she's carrying it with her from class to class. If you like to go running, if you like to go hiking, if you're going to your car in the parking lot in the evening, you have this with you. This is a 130 decibel alarm and a flashing strobe light. Now, I'm going to pull this, and it's going to be loud, but I'm going to cover it up so it's at least bearable because this is really, really loud, okay? It's kind of startling. All right, hold on. No one is going to miss that. This is peace of mind for you and the people that you love. This is one of those things that goes with you everywhere. You can keep one in your car, you can keep one on your keychain, but think about giving one to your mom. Think about giving one to your niece. Think about giving one to your daughter. Think about giving one to your son. He's off on a college campus. He works somewhere where he's going, back and forth a long way to the car. He likes to run. This is a personal safety alarm that everyone can use. I love that it comes in 5 colors, although again, I know that's not the point. I do love the fact that you can get it for 20% off right now on localsteals.com. It's a crazy, crazy time. We could all use a little more peace of mind, a little more feeling of safety and security.
A massive street paving project is getting underway today in Pittsburgh. The city is investing nearly $16 million in resurfacing. It plans to pave about 34 miles of roads this year. Last week, Pittsburgh held its pothole blitz to fill in rough spots around town. Public Works employees put in 12-hour days to fix as many holes as possible. The blitz is over, but you can always report potholes that you come across in the city limits by reporting to 311. Thanks for joining us. That's all from Channel 11 News at noon. We'll see you back here for our next newscast tonight at 5. Have a great day.
This is Take 5, highlighting Western Pennsylvania's most innovative and successful businesses.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Take 5. I'm Joe Klimchak. Health coaching is our topic today. How having a